Hi there, this is Self-Critical Automaton, and this is episode 2 of my Resident Evil 4 Let's Play. And so, yeah. Last episode I went through the first two sort of zones of the game's first area, and here's the third zone, which is the farm. And it's worth noting that Leon never actually repeats his, hi, hello, can I talk to you? Let me show you a picture routine. He just kind of immediately jumps to shooting people. Like, he tried it in that one house 3 miles away, and that's it. Every other person is now marked for death. I mean, that guy wasn't even being especially threatening. He just kind of walked towards me a little bit. Yeah, and it's here that we're going to see one of the game's first really goofy elements. There's a lot of very goofy stuff in this game. It's up close. It's not this guy. It's these blue medallions. One of the interesting things about this game is how unself-consciously gamey it is. There are, all the way through, fairly prominent, almost arcade game elements, which are presented as being part of the world. It wouldn't be that strange if they were, you know, abstractions that were there just for a bit of extra fun for the player. But, no, it's kind of all presented as actually part of the world and stuff that's actually happening. Also, I have some questions about that. So, as we're going to learn a bit later on, basically what's happened is that a bunch of people are infected with magic evil parasites that are turning them into evil people. And, the cult that runs this town is responsible for that. So, are those people who refused to accept the parasite, and or are they people who died from the parasite before it could rework them or whatever? Also, this is fun. As a kid, this never occurred to me, but if you shoot this, it drops in the muck. If you shoot this, it does not drop in the muck. Which, if it drops in the muck, then it is it's actually a different item, which is much less valuable. Something like a 10th, or maybe a 5th of the value. Also, hello dog. I saved your friend. Are you alright? Anyway, these people can't be that bad if they have dogs, surely? Like, dogs are good, therefore people with dogs must be good? Anyway, yes, so, blue medallions. There's a character we're going to meet in a little bit. Also, we're just going to summarily murder this man. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the blue medallions. Basically, there's a character we're going to meet in a little bit who gives you a special, unique item if you manage to collect all 15 medallions. Which is strange behaviour, just in general. I'm just going to leave him for now. You can use the check interaction on every single box in the game, and it all says the same thing every single time. You know, just as an aside. But yeah, this game makes no real distinction between the explicitly gamey elements, such as that collect them up, or, you know, some mini-games that will happen much later on. It makes no distinction between those and the actual narrative that's happening, and the fact that this entire narrative takes place over, like, a single 24-hour period. There's a lot of strangeness and weirdness, and a lot of it is really goofy, and I genuinely like that. Oh hey, he landed in the straw. A nice soft landing. Somewhat ruined by then being slit open like a pig, I suppose. Did I open the cabinet downstairs? I don't remember. Again, these people have a lot of ammunition for people who don't have guns. So, we're about to find out about another mechanic. In addition to the actual money that I've been gathering... Oh yeah, that's another example of the sort of inexplicable weirdness of the whole situation, like the goofiness of it. I mean, this game is set in like 1996 or something, and yet, like, sure, maybe that was before Spain joined the European Union, you know, the switch over to the euro and that, so sure, pesetas would still be the money, but, like, they had banknotes and things. Like, pesetas haven't been little chests full of gold coins since, like, 1600. Oh, yes, we're about to meet another new friend. It's a big rock. I used to hate QTE sequences, but you know, as I've gone along, I've got a little bit bolder, more able to deal with it. That was a pun. Also, we can just deal with these guys. It's completely unnecessary, but most enemies on bridges in the game, you can shoot them and they'll fall down, so you get some loot. These guys apparently do not. What was I saying? Oh yeah, QTEs. Quick time events. Everyone hates them. They're a really common mechanic in games because it essentially lets you count a cutscene as gameplay. For anyone who doesn't know, a QTE is a sequence where things, command prompts flash up on screen, and if you fail to push them in time, the cutscene stops progressing. Usually your character dies and you have to do it all over again from the beginning. Just as another aside, these guys are dynamite. They throw dynamite. There's a bunch of interesting weirdnesses about the dynamite as well, but I'm going to try and just deal with them without getting blown up. I like the way they sort of wave it in the air vaguely. It makes me think of like people waving lighters at a concert. Can I? Can I? Yes, there we go. Oh wait, no, I missed. Fair enough. So if you shoot it out of their hands, it'll explode and kill them. There we go. If they throw it and you shoot it, it'll explode. However, if they light it and then keep a hold of it, which they will do. Uh-oh, I can hear another explosion, and there it was. Yeah, so just quickly. Was that this guy? No, it was not. There's another guy. Where even is the other guy? Oh, he's in there. So sometimes when they're getting ready to throw, you can shoot them and they'll drop it and then it will explode. However, if they've lit it, and you then... Oh god. Basically, once it's lit, it won't explode until it leaves their hand. Whether that's because they've dropped it or whatever. Yeah. So... Oh, for heaven's sake. Yeah, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. What was I talking about? Dynamite men, yep, I've already explained them. What was I talking about before dynamite? QTEs, yeah. One of the things that I appreciate about this game is that they do use the QTE mechanic, however, it's always either X and C, or two specific face buttons on a controller if you're playing with a controller, or it's left click and mouse, left click and right click on the mouse. Or again, another two buttons. So you always know what the potential inputs are. The problem with most QTEs is that there's no... Like, it can be pretty much any one of the buttons available to you in a game, whereas in this you always have some idea of what's coming. Also, birds' nests contain loot, much like the birds themselves, which leads to the kind of horrifying conclusion that, like, if I shoot a bird and it drops loot, okay, the bird had the loot. If I shoot a bird's nest, does that mean I shot a bird that was in the nest? Is that why there's loot? You can probably hear thumping in the distance. That's nothing to worry about. It's a scary cupboard. It's a scary, scary cupboard with something terrifying inside. I'm just going to make a safety save here, because that's what I do. You might be wondering why there's a second save. It's because I tried to record this episode twice already and failed due to amusing technical circumstances, but, yeah. So, yeah, okay. Similarly, the sort of like unconcernedly gaminess of it is why this tiny rural town in the middle of nowhere has no guns, a shitload of bullets, and apparently infinite dynamite. Oh yeah, that beer stein I picked up earlier. So in addition to the money you find, you also find treasures, and there's basically two kinds of treasures. There's treasures that can just be sold as they are, and there's treasures that can be upgraded by slotting in the gems that you find over the course of the game. That beer stein was the first upgradable item. Yeah, okay, that's great. Let's go. What's inside? It's horrifying. It's Viggo Mortensen, apparently.
A little rough, don't you think? You're not like them?
No. You?
Okay, I have only one very important question. You got a smoke?
Got gum.
I love the writing in this game, I really do.
Perfect.
The game's first major antagonist is a big cheese. So this guy's really interesting. His name is Aged Gouda, and he's a recurring antagonist in Resident Evil. No, I'm kidding. So that's the end of chapter 2. Just gonna save again as I go. I guess it's the end of chapter 1, actually.
Feeble humans, let us give you our power. Soon, you will become unable to resist this intoxicating power.
So this dude's not suspicious at all. Also, I kind of hate Leon's, like, ham ears. They're weirdly detailed and crisp.
Hey, wake up.
Crawl out of one hole and into another.
You want to tell me what's going on here?
Americano, see? Now what brings a bloke like you to this part of the world?
Did the Spanish say bloke?
Easy, whoever you are.
Name's Leon. Came here looking for this girl. Seen her?
What, are you supposed to be a cop or something? Nah, you don't look the type.
Maybe.
Okay, let me guess. She's the president's daughter?
That's too good for a guess. Want to start explaining?
Psychic powers. Nah, just kidding with you, amigo. I overheard one of the villagers talking something about the president's daughter in the church.
I mean, psychic powers are not unprecedented in this setting.
And who might you be?
Me llamo Luis Serra. I used to be a cop in Madrid. But now I'm just a good-for-nothing guy who happens to be quite the ladies' man.
Why'd you quit?
Phew, policia. You put your life on the line. Nobody really appreciates you enough for it. Being a hero isn't what it's cracked up to be anymore.
Used to be a cop myself. Only for a day, though.
I thought I was bad.
Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the force.
That is the incident with the viral outbreak, right? I think I might have seen a sample of the virus in a lab at the department.
Hey boy, I'm not dying.
Do something, cop!
After you. Now!
Honestly, I nearly missed that one. That was a pretty good bicycle kick.
It's Leon. Sorry I couldn't get in touch sooner, but I was a bit tied up.
Hey, the puns
You're
are my
okay,
game,
right?
dude.
I'm fine. There was a male civilian held captive. According to him, Ashley's in a church somewhere.
What happened to him?
He managed to escape.
Do you have a fix on the location of that church?
No, but apparently there's a secret passage in the village that leads there. I'm heading back to the village.
A lot of the dialogue is really clunky, and I assume that must be an artifact of having been translated from Japanese. But a lot of it's really endearingly goofy. However, the stuff about, like, hey, nobody appreciates you if you're a cop, that's kind of,
Over here, stranger.
kind of awkward, given recent history. You know, as compared to this game that came out in 2005, I think. So, I'm not going to bother to save just yet. But yeah, that guy with the axe, I actually have some thoughts about him, and this is not really based on anything, this is just my own conclusions, but, oh yeah, what a horrible thing to have to deal with. He was covered in blood, so he must have been fighting someone, but he wasn't fighting you yet.
Got something that might interest you.
Also, this is everyone's favourite character.
Got a selection of...
He's also responsible for the blue medallions I mentioned.
What are you selling?
And you're going to get very, very, very tired of him saying his various lines that he says a lot, such as,
Is that all? Is that all, stranger?
"Is that all, stranger? Heh heh heh, thank you." You're going to get as tired of that as I am, and it's going to happen
Thank
quick.
you. Is that... Thank you.
Pearl pendant is 10,000. I think it's 5,000 if it's the filthy pearl. The filthy pearl pendant. So I guess it's only half of the value that's lost.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're going to hang on to these two because we can combine them later.
What are you buying? Is that all? Thank you.
Inventory size upgrade,
Is
treasure
that...
map,
Thank you.
and then I'm going to
Is
get the
that all?
rifle because I really like it. Also, another inexplicable sort of jank in this game is that for some reason the select item key is backspace and the rotate item key is page down. I've never discovered any satisfactory explanation for that, and there are hundreds of pages on, well, I say hundreds, there are about 10 pages on the internet of people saying, hey, why can't I rotate stuff in this game?
Is that all?
And other people saying, you can, it's just they made a bizarre decision.
Thank you.
So that hasn't left me enough money for
What are you
upgrades, but
buying?
the handgun and the rifle I'm not going to upgrade anyway, because we'll be switching out to better ones later on. The shotgun, however, the starting shotgun is my favourite, so I'm just going to upgrade and use that for the entire game. Alright, that's enough of him. I'll probably talk about him a lot later. There's no explanation for who he is, why he's here, why he's selling you guns, why he has all these guns. But the fact that Leon looks at him out the window and he invites him around the corner implies that, again, like the medallions themselves and the arcade stuff that happens later, he does exist within this setting. Like, he's not a game abstraction. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the axe guy. Like, I think, like, they infect you with their mind control parasite and then leave you in a cupboard, so clearly they want you alive. That guy tries to kill you, and he's covered in blood. What if he's one of the only remaining villagers who's trying to stop the evil plans that have taken over all the rest of the villagers? So, you know, he's fought through them, hence the blood, and now he's come to kill you because you're instrumental to their plans. Like, that's completely speculative. However, I think it's a cool explanation. A more likely explanation is simply that they wanted to have a nice action scene of how you get out of your handcuffs. So, whatever. Anyway, that's about it for today. So I'm going to save. and I will catch you later. Bye.